A blind woman who saw September 11th, COVID-19, Princess Diana's death. Her name was Baba Vanga, and she warned us about 2025, a year of war, aliens, and something much worse. It sounded impossible, until now. One by one, her visions are waking up. And if she was right, we're already too late. So who is this Baba Vanga? She was born in 1911 in a small village in Bulgaria. She wasn't famous, not at first, but then something happened. At age 12, a violent storm swept her away. When her family found her, her eyes were filled with dust. She was blind, but she said she could see things others couldn't. She spoke of visions, voices, events that hadn't happened yet. At first, no one believed her, but that changed quickly. She predicted the Kursk submarine disaster, September 11th, the rise of ISIS, the death of Princess Diana, even the COVID-19 pandemic. And many of her followers say she got it all right. Some claim her predictions were over 80% accurate. Even scientists studied her, politicians visited her, ordinary people traveled miles just to hear what she saw. She never wrote her visions down. Others recorded them, those close to her. Her words were short, strange, often like riddles. But there was one year she kept warning about. One year she said would change everything. 2025. She called it a turning point, a global shift, a storm with no clear end, war, mind control, aliens, a power source not from this earth. For years people laughed. Now, they're not laughing, because signs of her visions are showing up again. In the news, in science labs, in the sky. So the question isn't just who Baba Vanga was. The real question is, what did she see? Welcome to the grave truths. The closer you look, the darker it gets. Prophecy number 1, the European war that sparks global collapse. She said it would start in Europe, a war, a flashpoint, one move too far, and the world would burn. Baba Vanga called it the beginning of humanity's downfall. Her warning was simple: no winners, only ashes. For years, no one paid attention, but now something is shifting. Tensions are rising fast. NATO forces are moving east. Russia's shadow grows darker. Sanctions, sabotage, strange blackouts. Words like mobilization and retaliation fill the airwaves. And in the middle of it all, Ukraine, a country torn apart, a battlefield for powers far bigger than itself. Some say it's just politics. But Baba Vanga's followers say this. This is how it begins. She described cities in ruins, economies shattered, families fleeing into the woods, and then silence. As if the world had cracked open and swallowed itself whole. No nukes, she said. Not at first, but the fear. The fear would spread faster than fire. Look at the signs, empty shelves, power cuts, skyrocketing prices, civil unrest, whispers of martial law. It's already happening, just not all at once. She said the world would turn its eyes away. Until it's too late. The year, 2025, that's when the domino falls. No one knows which one. A drone strike, a cyber attack. A single spark could set the whole thing off. And the worst part? She said this war wouldn't end. It would bleed into everything: food, power, trust. Neighbor against neighbor, country against country. Not because they want to fight, but because they don't know what else to do. She said the map of the world would change, that people would beg for peace, and no one would listen. So, was she right? Is this how it begins? Or has it already begun, and we just haven't noticed? Prophecy number 2, telepathy breakthrough. She spoke of minds, touching minds, no words, no wires, just thoughts. Baba Vanga said a time would come when people no longer needed to speak. They would hear without sound and see without eyes. At first, it sounds like science fiction, but in labs across the world it's already happening. Scientists have built headsets that read brainwaves, devices that can turn thoughts into text, implants that allow the paralyzed to move again, with just their minds. In 2025, Baba warned of a great shift in human thinking, but she didn't call it progress, she called it danger, because the line between connection and control is thin. What happens when someone else can enter your mind, when thoughts aren't private anymore? Some say this new tech will help us grow, learn faster, heal trauma, even stop violence before it happens. But others see something darker. Governments collecting brain data, corporations selling thoughts, hackers inside your head. Baba Vanga said the first breakthrough would seem like a miracle. Then it would turn. People would begin to lose their sense of self. Memories would blur. Emotions would shift. Some would go silent, unable to tell what thoughts were theirs. She warned of a generation raised without voice, trained to think as one. And in her words, a single mind will lead them all. Was she describing a leader, a program, or something else? By 2025, the first neural cities are expected to launch, places where thought-to-thought communication will be tested on real people. No talking, no texting, just pure mind. Some say it's the next step in evolution. Others say it's the end of free will. So, what is it? A miracle? A trap? Or the beginning of something we can't take back? Prophecy number 3. Aliens arrive during a global spectacle. Baba Vanga said it would happen when the world is watching. A single moment, a single event. People gathered, eyes glued to the screen when it happens. She spoke of UFOs appearing in the sky during a great spectacle, a game, a performance, an event so massive that the world couldn't look away, and then something no one expected. Something that changes everything. A UFO hovering over a stadium, or maybe a city. The truth is, no one really knows. But Baba Vanga saw it. She felt it. A wave of shock, fear, wonder, and then silence. She warned that the arrival would be more than just a sighting. It would be a message. But not everyone would hear it the same way. What would they want? Peace? Knowledge? Something darker? She wasn't sure. And neither are we. Look at what's happening now. The US government just admitted to having UFO footage. The Pentagon's released documents. Astronomers are scanning the sky, hoping to detect something out of place. Some say we've already been visited, that the signs are there, if you know where to look. The great spectacle? Could it be the Super Bowl, the Olympics? Something the whole world watches together. What would happen if, during a global event, a massive UFO appeared, not on a screen, but in the sky? For real. The crowd would freeze, the world would hold its breath. But who are they? Friendly visitors or invaders? Baba Vanga never said they'd come in peace, and she warned that their arrival could be the start of something that humans weren't ready for. A new reality, a new order. But is it a warning? Or just an incredible coincidence? Are we already being prepared for what's to come? Or have they been watching us this entire time, waiting for the perfect moment to step into the light? So while you're listening to me, I would like to tell you that we're not just telling stories here. We're building something, a community, because I know. You know things. You've seen things, heard the whispers, felt the strange. There are untold stories out there, so many mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and I believe some of the answers might be hiding in plain sight, in your town, your family, maybe even your past. So share them, Drop your story in the comments. Let the world hear what's been silent for too long. And yes, I read every single one. If this feels like something you've been searching for, join us. Become part of the grave truth's circle. Because what's coming, you won't want to face it alone. Prophecy number 4, lab-grown organs. Baba Vanga saw a time when science would cross a line. She spoke of organs grown from nothing but cells, hearts, lungs, kidneys, and she didn't call it a miracle. She called it a trap. In her vision, scientists would finally crack the code. They'd grow organs right in the lab. No more waiting on a donor list, no more dying because a heart couldn't be found in time. The promise? Endless life, endless health. But the cost? Everything. Baba warned that this medical miracle would come with a price few would be able to afford. We're already seeing the first steps: 3D printing, biotech. Some companies are already printing skin for burn victims. Others are growing tiny organs for research. But Baba saw much more. She saw a world where only the rich could afford immortality. A world where your life could be bought if you had the right connections. And the rest, the ones left behind in the race for eternal youth, they'd fade, forgotten, left in the wake of a new class of immortals. Some say it's just the natural progression of science, that this is what will save millions, that one day we'll all live longer lives. But Baba's warning was different. She didn't see this as a cure. She saw it as the start of a new kind of slavery, because who controls life? Controls everything. If the rich can live forever, what happens to the rest of us? How long before the line between the haves and the have-nots is drawn in the blood of the poor? She warned that this revolution would tear humanity apart, not in war, but in access. As the technology advances, the wealthy will buy their new organs. The rest will wait until their bodies break down. Baba Vanga said that the choice would be simple: live forever or die trying. Is this a world we want to live in? Or is it the beginning of the end? Prophecy number 5, 0-point energy. Baba Vanga spoke of a force, silent, unseen, endless. She called it power from the void, energy pulled from empty space itself, and she said it would change everything. 0-point energy. It's a real scientific theory, the idea that even in total vacuum, where there's nothing at all, there's still energy, a lot of it. If we could tap into that, we'd have power that never runs out. No oil, no coal, no sunlight needed, just pure, infinite energy. Sounds like salvation. But Baba didn't smile when she spoke of it. She warned that when man learns to control this power, the earth itself would tremble. Because this isn't like anything we've handled before. This isn't fire, or electricity, or nuclear power. This is energy that doesn't want to be controlled. According to her, the breakthrough wouldn't come from America or Europe. It would come from the East, a quiet lab, a sudden success, and then chaos. At first the world would rejoice. No more fuel shortages, no more blackouts. Entire nations lit up overnight. But then, something would go wrong. She described cities blinking out in a flash, machines running without control, weather shifting in unnatural ways. Not storms, but tears in the sky. Some believe she meant a rift in time or space. Others think the energy itself would warp the planet. Scientists have long warned that tapping into 0-point energy could unleash things we don't fully understand. And Baba? She said it plainly. The light that never ends will be the shadow that consumes. Could this be the answer to all our problems? Or the final invention humanity ever makes? There are whispers today, hidden experiments, black budget labs, private tech companies chasing the void. One slip, one test too far, That's all it could take. Unlimited power always comes at a cost. And the question isn't if someone will unlock it. It's whether anyone can survive what comes next. The apocalypse timeline, 2025 and beyond. It begins in 2025, the year the world blinks. First war, a conflict in Europe that spreads like fire. Economies crash, borders dissolve, the old world order breaks. Then, something stranger, whispers of telepathy, not a gift but a weapon, minds being read, thoughts stolen, and as nations fall apart, the sky opens. They arrive, not in peace, not in war, but in silence, watching. By 2028, humanity reaches for answers. We land on Venus. But what we find isn't just rock and gas. It's something older, something we weren't meant to wake. Then comes 2130, no more shadows, no more sightings. This is full contact. Aliens walk among us. Some welcome them, others vanish. The world divides, those who believe and those who obey. Then everything goes dark. Silence stretches for centuries, until 5079. The date Baba Vanga never explained. Just one line in her notes, the end. No more time, no detail, no hint of why. Just a year, a war we cannot see past. Some say it's a cosmic reset, others believe it's humanity's final hour. All we know? The countdown has already begun. Each prophecy, each warning, is a step toward something final. And as the clock ticks toward 5079, we're left to ask, are we racing toward destiny, or digging our own grave? Coincidence or fate? Is Baba Vanga a true seer, or just someone good at guessing? Skeptics say her prophecies are too vague, that people twist her words to fit the story after it happens. A coincidence is dressed up as destiny, but believers feel something chilling. They point to her warnings. With earthquakes already hitting and economies crumbling, can we afford to ignore her? What do you think? Was she a prophet or a fraud? Vote in the poll below. Your voice matters. We're building a community of truth seekers, people who chase shadows and question everything. People like you. Join now and never miss another buried truth, twisted tale, or eerie coincidence. And if you've lived something strange, if you've seen what others didn't, tell us. We share real stories from real people. The world deserves to hear what's been buried, because some truths hide in plain sight, and here we're not afraid to dig. Oh, and one more thing. Another Japanese manga predicted 2025 too. The same chaos, the same warnings. Click the video below to uncover that eerie connection.